Again, climate change and emission reduction. These are now not an issue of rich countries. For long, third world developing countries like India, I always believed that climate change is an alien issue that will never have any hearing on them. But trend of last few years that frequency of extreme weather events like cyclone, floods, droughts, they all have increased than before, which means that this problem is right at our doorstep and cannot be ignored anymore. But are we as a society really understand the challenges posed by climate change and are we prepared to deal with it? This is what we are going to discuss in today's Jannah Time panel discussion from Adamas University. And I'm Shadman Alam, your host. And to discuss this subject, we have a panelist, Bal Chakrabarti, Kayan Khatun, and Chandrima Das from Adamas University. First of all, I would like to head towards Chandrima Das. Chandrima, there are lots of people around us who is still not believing that climate change is for real. So what do you think? Is climate change for real?
Thank you, Shadman, for asking me this question. I would also like to thank Adamas University and School of Media Science and Communication for providing me with this opportunity. If still people are questioning if climate change is real or not, it is like questioning the sun's presence in the sky. The evidence of climate change today are countless to begin with. Earth's average temperature has gone up and it is increasing as per record shows since 1880. And the rate of warming over the past 40 years is more than 0.80 degrees Celsius. Due to the rise in temperature, the Antarctic Peninsula has warmed by 3 degrees Celsius, meaning that one stable ice shelves are now retreating. Since 1950, it has lost over 25,000 kilometers of ice shelving. In short, global warming has already caused a massive disbalance through melting ice of Antarctica, which is the reason behind rising sea level causing floods. Climate change have also caused droughts, wildfire, cyclones, which we already witnessing. Thank you.
Exactly. These are the major issues and the problem which we need to really understand that climate change is for real. Very good point, Chandra. Now, moving ahead, I would like to talk to Bal Chakrabarti. Bal, how close is this for daily living habits directly associated with the problems of climate change? And are we ready to change those habits?
See, Shadman, medical professions have been increasingly been sounding the alarm that the climate change and our continuous burning of fossil fuels and our activities that we have been continuing are going to have serious risk and consequences on our health. And here's the problem. The same dirty fossil fuel emissions that contribute to the greenhouse effect, which in turn causes global warming and pollution, leads to a plethora of respiratory diseases and are quite dangerous. Air pollution kills an estimated of 7 million people worldwide per year, according to the WHO. And as temperature rises, violence and aggression also go up while productivity declines. It is a scientific fact which has been studied that intense heat can actually affect human behavior, from making it hard to focus to prompting aggression. And also, giving up the physical processes, heat and other pollutants have a huge effect on our mental and psychical health too. There's an increase in 2% in mental health problems such as anxiety, stress, and PTSD due to the changes in temperature and global warming problems. But sadly, it's a sad reality that we are doing very less to change these habits. The problem here is to make an educated guess at the very least is when we talk about climate change effects, we are not talking about ourselves or in first person. We are not thinking about our friends or our family or about today. At best, we are thinking about our children or perhaps even great grandchildren or something like that who will have to face the actual issues. But the rather inconvenient truth is climate change and climate crisis is affecting us from the moment we wake up to the moment we doze off at night. Thank you.
Pretty good. Yeah, I pretty agree with you, Ball. The thing basically mental health things. People really need to understand that climate change can really affect our mental health as well. Now, moving ahead, I would like to talk to Kayan Khatun. Kayan, Few days back in the Kingdom Summit COP26, India is committed to 0% emission by 2017. What do you think? What are your views on this? That is it really possible?
See, these were some bold promises coming from a developing country that has some big ambitions and whose economy is just taking off. Although India accounts for 17% of the world's population, it is responsible for just 5% of its emission. And as per an IPCC sixth assessment report, a stark warning that human induced climate change may have already caused an irreversible change in flash floods, sizzling temperature, droughts, and intense cyclones, and will likely to occur in India and will continue to devastate regions in South Asia unless drastic measures are taken to curb carbon emissions. South Asia compromises countries of great diversity. The pledges they made at Glasgow were just as diverse. While India committed to 0% emission by 2070, Nepal pledged to be carbon neutral by 2045, and Pakistan has not committed to a specific year yet. Bhutan is already carbon neutral. There is still a small hope to prevent the most harrowing effects of climate change. Hence, the heightened efforts by activists who want governments to act robustly before it's too late. And according to UN body, the world is running out of time to prevent the worst of the climate crisis. We need to be very careful. Thank you, Shadman.
Exactly, and I really agree with you that yeah, it is high time that we need to be take care about the things which is going to be affect in future. Well, moving ahead in the conversation, I would like to talk with Chandrima Das again. Chandrima, are we as aware as a society of the hazards posed by climate change?
See, Shadman, sadly, as a society, we have not really understood what kind of an impact climate change will have and what we are about to face in next 5 to 10 years. We have already seen drastic change in weather. The unstableness of weather is just an indication for what really is coming. India has already taken several measures like notification of national ambient air quality standards, formulation of environmental regulations, setting up of monitoring network for assessment of ambient air quality, introduction of cleaner alternate fuels like CNG, LPG, launching of National Air Quality Index by the Prime Minister in April 2015. A research conducted by Greece Laboratory of Hygiene and Environmental Protection, United Kingdom shows that the majority of environmental pollutants are emitted through large-scale human activities such as the use of industrial machinery, power-producing stations, combustion engines, and cars. Because these activities are performed at such a large scale, they are by far the major contributors to air pollution, with cars estimated to be responsible for approximately 80% of today's pollution. Some other human activities are also responsible as well, such as field cultivation techniques, gas stations, fuel tank heaters, and cleaning procedures, as well as several natural sources such as volcanic and soil eruptions and forest fires. The World Health Organization introduced the term DALYs, DALYs. The DALYs for a disease or health condition is defined as the sum of the years of life lost due to premature mortality in the population and the years lost due to disability for people living with the health condition or its consequences. But as citizens, we are still unaware of these measures and facts when small countries have taken big leaps, leading by example, Finland, Norway, Canada. Again, I would like to mention in India, we have great many environmentalists who are working brilliant, but lack of empowerment and facilities and excess are holding them back. Thank you.
Exactly, Chandrima. Like people are really need to aware about the situation and the hazards which we are going to face in the upcoming days and the upcoming time. Well, moving ahead in the conversation, again, I would like to talk with Bal Chakrabarti. Bal, we always talk about the alternate sources of energy. So, how equipped are we in terms of harnessing and providing energy from alternate sources?
That's a really interesting question. That's a very important question right now. See, basically, you have to understand that our infrastructure is built for fossil fuels, and that means that if we have to go for any other forms of energy, we need to do a lot of work to change things. Since the Industrial Revolution onwards, we have relied on fossil fuels to develop and grow our societies. And now we need to change things drastically if we wish to continue living in a healthy world where there is enough energy for all. And Indian renewable energy sector is actually the fourth most attractive renewable energy market in the world right now. India has ranked fourth in wind power, fifth in the solar power, and fourth in the renewable power installed capacity in the world as of 2020. Businesses will have to change, and changes are necessary, but it's not always easy. Asking whole industries to move to something different is an extremely difficult thing to do. The businesses that go with the change will survive, but many will resist and therefore die, meaning a loss of jobs even as alternative jobs are produced. In spite of the outstanding advantages of renewable energy sources, certain shortcomings exist and we have to understand them, such as the discontinuity of generation due to seasonal variation, as most renewable energy resources are climate dependent. And we have already destroyed or pretty much destroyed the climate cycle of the world. That is why its exploitation will require a complex design, planning, and controlled optimization methods. And it's a huge undertaking for any country, especially for a country like India with limited and limited resources to implement these infrastructures in a sustainable manner. That's what I believe.
Exactly. And there is something we need to think about, that there are many alternate sources which we really need to take in consideration, as pollution level is something going beyond and the impact is already right on our doorstep. So before ending this discussion, once again, I would like to go ahead and I would like to talk to Kayan Khatun. Kayan, while we put onus on providing a clean environment in all ruling establishment or governments, what are the responsibilities of the common citizen in countering climate change?
See, firstly, we must stop deforestation in all forms. We should not cut down more trees as it will worsen the level of carbon dioxide in the air. Instead, we should encourage people to plant even more trees to create a fine balance in nature. And moreover, it reduces the usage of energy everywhere, and becoming more energy efficient is a great way to prevent pollution. It causes the power plant to expend less energy that can lead to the production of greenhouse gases. This means we should do what we can to cut down on energy usage in our households. And according to IPCC's fifth assessment report, behavior, lifestyle, and cultural changes have a high mitigation potential in some sectors. Even individual action on climate change can include personal choices in many areas, such as diet, consumption of goods and services, and family size. And if individuals shrink their consumption of fossil fuels, corporations are incentivized to produce less as the demand for their product would decrease. In other words, each individual consumption plays a role in the total supply of fossil fuels and the emission of greenhouse gases. The most importantly, we should educate others about the seriousness of climate change. Thank you, Shadma.
Exactly. We really need to concern about these things. So from today's dinner time discussion, we really conclude that climate change is real and it is something which we really need to concern about. And it is a very high time that we really need to take a step towards it. I would really thank to Baul Chakrabarti, Chandrima Das and Kayan Khatun to be a part of this discussion and let people allow to aware of the current situation and the upcoming things. Thank you very much, everyone.